So I'm making this video because I am tired. So some years ago, 501 North Central was sold for $1. We're all aware of that. To an organization that provides SROs, single room housing. The organization is named Surhack. The owner of the company is Eric Rubenstein. So here is my problem. Our communities, South and West Sides, are the only communities that they dump anything and everything in it. And some of you may disagree, but I don't. And some of you will agree with me wholeheartedly, because as you look around the South and the West Sides, you will see the various boarded buildings, boarded houses, closed schools, streets are not up to par, street lights have not been replaced on a lot of blocks. You will see a lot of things that will show you that our communities on the South and the West Sides are lacking. Here is my problem with 501 North Central. The man owns the building. There is no upkeep. There is no capital improvement. There is nothing being done. Recently, the homeless shelter was removed because pipes have burst, heat have been out, and water has been off in the building for 2 weeks in a row. There was an electrical fire in one of the residents' room, which nobody will speak of. And there was 2 deaths on the 4th floor of 2 infants from the homeless shelter. The video cameras does not work at all. The upkeep is horrible. The basement has been flooded for about 4 to 5 years, and there's no telling what kind of bacterial mold and mildew is growing in the basement. But it's okay, because it's our people in our community who have to suck this up, breathe it, and live in it. Now, before they got this group of individuals that monitor the building, there was a prior group. There was Carlos, there was Rick, Wayne, and there was Terrell, who was a security team, and Maurice. Well, when Carlos was the manager over the building, they would do an inspection of every room on each floor. That no longer happens. So you have residents who piss in buckets and cups and leave in their room. And when the pipes burst and there was no water for about 3 to 4 days, the toilets was filled with stools and the urinals with pee, and the ladies' bathroom was filled as well. Now, can you imagine the germs, the not healthy aspects of having toilets that don't flush, urinals that don't flush, and you have 4 floors of people living in your building, and that is okay. When the homeless shelter was there, the kitchen does not work. It has not worked. And from my understanding, I thought that when you have a homeless shelter, there are certain requirements that need to be met. But I guess that don't work in our communities. Not at all. So I have a problem, and it bothers me to know that some of our officials are okay with this and they are aware of it. So you can't say you don't know. Now, the police, the city, the inspector showed up because the residents in the homeless shelter had children who had been living for more than 2 days without water and the use of the bathrooms. But here's my other question. If you are funding a city program, who is doing the checking to make sure that everything is up to par? First of all, the children are on the 4th floor with their mothers. There is no elevator. There is no monitoring on that floor, and they was coming in and out the building all times of the night. The cameras have not worked in that building for 8 months. So if something happens, how would you know? What is the security measures being done? And why is it in our communities that it's acceptable and it's allowed to happen? We have these ministers who has connections, but for me, and I'm not knocking you, but I'm saying to you, it's not always about you. And for these organizations who always getting the money for their organization, why is it the same ones who always getting the money? And who does the balance and the checking up and making sure that the needs are being met in the community? Because if you really want to be honest and you stand outside and you look on the various blocks, you will see in the south and the west sides, I can't see where a dime is being spent. And we have elected officials that's been in office for a long time. And somebody should be sick and tired of being sick and tired, because I know I am. And it's ridiculous that our communities are the one who get shortchanged, and you just want to do anything and dump anything in it. And when election times come, you want to continue to lie and break promises. Enough is enough.